Now, from what we understand, you guys actually shot here in San Diego. Can you talk about the footage you shot and exactly the episode that it's going to turn into?
Yeah, we filmed in Old Town San Diego. It's kind of our way that we kick off Comic-Con. We do a lockdown. But we filmed in Old Town San Diego. We filmed at the old Cosmopolitan Hotel in the Casa de Estudio. And I was a little bit, I wasn't expecting a whole lot of activity from this. It just doesn't seem like the two places that are just super active, but we were like really, really shocked. And we were shocked when we started learning about the history of why it's so active there. And there's a lot of mystery, and there's a guy named Biandini, and he actually had a house where the Cosmopolitan Hotel is now, and his wife mysteriously died, but now we found out that he killed her, and there's a lot of activity there. And he used to throw like these 3-day-long parties, and I thought he was friends with Pablo Escobar, because he was known for his 3-day, 4-day-long, non-stop, ever-ending parties, so we threw a party there to recreate that energy. We brought in some girls that knew how to do those dances, like the fandangos, and we would do these parties, and we had a singer and everything. This was around midnight, and then all of a sudden I would just yell, "Alto! Stop!" Everybody, the musicians stop, the dancers stop, everybody stop, and we started hearing this female singing when everybody would be silent, like it was a spirit singing along to the party, and that we would kind of catch her once we stopped abruptly. It was cool, it was surprising, but we got a lot of cool stuff there.
That sounds really crazy. Now, do you guys ever get scared anymore, or when you see something like that here, or are you just mystified and kind of just in awe of something like that?
No, we there's stuff that totally catches us off guard. We'll be walking in a pitch dark location. It's just the three of us. No big camera crews, just the three of us locked down from dusk till dawn, and suddenly something will catch us off guard. You'll feel this immense energy just pass through your body. You'll get the goosebumps. You'll feel this electricity shock go through you, and that's what happened at the location Zach was just talking about. Personally, I felt this thing just go right through me, stop me right in my tracks, and I started getting a little nervous for my own safety.
And your emotions started.
My eyes started watering up a bit, and I just know there was something that just went through me, just an energy that connected with my own energy. And for that split second, I started fearing for my safety.
I haven't seen him react that way since Moon River Brewing Company, and that was over a year ago. Yeah. And this was a place that people can walk in every day, where kids go on grade school field trips, a place that was just unexpected. But as soon as it went through him, then I could feel it. And it just feels like someone puts a stun gun at you. It's not that violent, but the electricity goes through your body.
Where'd you meet down the staircase?
What do you mean? What happened to you?
Well, I was in the house where I'm playing with Ouija board, which I shouldn't have been doing, of a kid. He had recently died. My best friend was dating his sister, and me and the mom were in the room, and something like lifted me up, and I was like, "What is that?" And I went out, and it just, like you said, hit you, and then like I stumbled down the stairs.
So you know what we're talking about then?
Well, that's how it is. That's how when we start an investigation, when we look for spirits, we've been doing this now for about 6 years, full time. And we now know when our bodies pick up on spiritual energy. That's the most important piece of equipment you have. And you just walk around, use your body to pick that up. And as soon as he felt that, which was totally unexpected.
I didn't know what to expect. I thought this place was going to be like, all right, we're going to walk around. It's an old mansion. It's historic. It's kind of Spanish looking. And suddenly this thing just hit me. We knew instantly it's going to be on. There's going to be something there.
Then your emotions started getting weird. You got sad, and it was kind of weird.
I was getting these vivid images, and just from like, I don't know, because they were telling us earlier that the Indians this used to be their land, and before they built that building, some people have gotten pre-possessions of Indian energy residual coming through people, and they would do these Indian dances just sporadically, and didn't know how they did those dances.
But it's like those spirits, they just, when they want to, they can just reach out and grab you. And whatever energy they had inside of them when they died, you feel that. It's like a transference of energy. And you got to either A, know how to handle it, B, like us, know how to handle it and pursue it to try and document it as evidence. Because just by feeling something isn't evidence for you. We have to document that. So when we feel that, that's when we get out our digital recorder. We start communicating. And we haven't gone through that yet because we just did this a few days ago. But we're really excited to see if we got some voices, and typically they're trying to tell you something.
Well, we did get that voice. Remember?
We got
Aaron?
one that we got in real time.
What was his name?
Bandini.
He was awesome.
Now, with the voices, see, that's another thing. My mom took me out to a graveyard one time and laid the tape recorder. This is back in the 70s. And then we got voices. I mean, do you think that's real, or is people messing with you in the graveyard that don't know you there?
Yeah, if you got voices from a recorder and you didn't say it, then yeah, it's real. It's an EVP from a spirit, especially if you're in a graveyard. So
No, we
it
just
takes
got
100%. It makes sense.
We just got one. Tell him about Bandini.
Yeah, he was asking. He was calling out for Bandini and like who's in here, and basically right when he's talking to here, Bandini, and then Zach starts talking again over it. But it was clear as dude, it was awesome to get the guy's name straight up. The one we're hunting, it was badass.
It was like Bandini. It had that that Dracula kind of voice, Bandini. You know, sometimes you listen to the Mexican American radio stations, they sound like the old Dracula. Now what? I will tell you what you want. You know.
Yeah, you can hear the accent. But that's the crazy part. All right, so you've done that in the cemetery, right? And we've been doing this for years. Now, if you're standing there and you're asking questions, and it's complete silence, and you don't hear anything, it's clear, and then all of a sudden you play that back. How do you analyze that? How do you say, okay, I didn't hear that, but yet I hear this voice talking clearly before I talk? You know, that's what we're after, this type of evidence that we just can't wrap our heads around, but we know there's something else there because maybe we're picking up on that energy for that split second, and then we'll roll on a record. Then we get a voice, so it validates what we're feeling too at the same time.
No, and I saw that you were signing that thing for that guy, right?
What?
One of you were signing something that you were walking
Yeah,
through there.
Zach and I were signing that.
No, I was just wondering, is that a real thing? Is that like something that he can use, or is that
Just
just...
an EMF detector. You know, that you got to think that, well, you know, why is there such a sudden boom of paranormal? Why is it so hot right now? You know, it's because what I believe is you know, you got to look at your cell phones. You know, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, you'd look at this cell phone, you'd be like, holy shit.
What is that?
I can do, this is a computer now in my hand. You got to understand that with the evolution of technology, these little HD cameras, remember when HD cameras were just like, oh my God, that's a high definition camera?
Remember VHSs were $2
Yeah.
grand?
But you gotta look at though with how much more it seems paranormal stuff is going on now. Technology is also developing. I mean, there are so many decoded messages going through the air right now. Text messages, content,
Radio
data,
waves.
everything, radio waves, everything. We are just energizing this atmosphere now with so much electricity, so much technology, so much bandwidth, so much everything. And what I really am theorizing is, are these spirits using this as well? As much as this is going on right now, there's 5,000 people right here, probably all sending text messages. You know, are they using all of this energy to do more communicating, to be heard more clearly? And with the new digital recorders and all this kind of stuff, it's getting easier and easier to communicate with spirits.
And you know what's the interesting thing about that is it's an open book now because of what we do and because of our show being on TV for, you know, so many years now. I think more people are coming forward and saying, you know, I had this experience too, like yourself. Would you have said that 5 years ago to somebody else? Probably. Do you? All right.
My mom is into that.
There you go.
But a lot of people
that's
don't
the
tell
thing.
those stories.
But a lot of people don't tell those stories. But
That's
now
good,
more
everybody
people
in
are
that
coming on.
house.
Yeah. So it's all about the experiences, connecting with stories. Every place we go to, everybody has a story to tell.
No, well, what's your take on the spheres? Because these digital cameras pick up these spheres, and I don't know, there's a lot of debate. Is it, you know, energy because it's not there, and sometimes... Yeah, the orbs, but you take it with a digital picture. Why isn't it in the next picture you take? And sometimes they float down. I mean, is it part of the camera, or is there actually something there?
Well, I think, yeah, like you said, Aaron,
Tough, yeah.
orbs are tough. I think, you know, a lot of people take those still images and you see a bunch of orbs. I mean, 95% chance that's rain or dust or bugs or stuff like that. But, however, I think that there are orbs of energy. Once you think about a sphere, that's the evolution of life, you know, a perfect sphere, the universe. And it's just like, there are orbs, there are energy orbs, and I believe that when a spirit is trying to manifest, it's a partial manifestation of this ball of energy that can be confused. But I can look at video. That's why still images of orbs are just, I'll look at it and just discount it right away. You know, you got to have video of it. You can distinctly tell the difference between orbs of energy that have to do with spirits than like dust and bugs. Bugs will look like typically like rods and stuff like that, and dust is like flurries of snow on video. But spheres that we've captured will hit us, ponder, hesitate, back up, hover, and then go back and disappear in our head at the same time that we're starting to get a headache or we're starting to feel weird.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes we've captured these balls of energy, Aaron, like in Povelia. You know, one started disappearing in Aaron's neck, and he started getting a migraine, and that's when I had that
lost
experience.
all my energy and just basically almost passed out.
Well, no, I started to laugh because what I was asking about it because my brother, he takes pictures and these things are around him, and they're not in any other pictures of anybody else with the same camera in a certain place in the house. But then you said maybe it's bugs, and I was like, well, maybe the guy's covered in bugs. That's not funny, is it?
No, it is fine. I got it. Yeah.
Well, no, because he said that, and I was thinking that question, and then
Maybe he
said
needs
that,
bug
and I was
spray?
like,
Yeah.
maybe he's got
Or
mites.
ghost repellent. Maybe you need some ghost repellent. Yeah, no, I did the same thing. One Halloween I bought a new mask, and then suddenly we're like, let's mess around, take pictures with my mask. Took picture, and I'm seeing solid ball, clear as day, no transparency, just solid showing up near my head. Take other pictures, nothing. Then me, boom, solid ball of energy. And let me tell you, we just got back from an episode too, so it possibly could have been something that followed me home. And then suddenly I'm like, all right, stupid idea, never do this, but let me go grab the digital recorder and really see what's up. Grab the recorder, start asking questions. Got 3 voices that came through: a little girl's, a woman, and an older growling man's voice. How do you explain that with ball of energy showing up and then a digital recorder with voices? And then that night I went to bed and we're hearing pots and pans bang around our kitchen. We're hearing someone run through the hallway. That's the type of stuff that I think helps validate each individual piece of evidence that we're getting closer to explaining.
Yeah.